Hello and welcome everyone to the OVRC and welcome to round 6 and the final round of our GT season. I'm joined once again by Owen.
Hello everyone.
We are entering into qualifying stages of the round as everyone exits the pit lane. Well, if the chance, would you think it'd be a good time to run down the standings of the championship?
Yep, so leading the driver standings and actually having won the championship already last race, Mike Stoffmel with 480 points, second is Thomas Olsen with 272 points, third is Christopher Saban with 226 points, fourth is Konstantin Romanenko with 211 points, and fifth is Alexander Secher with 200 points. In the team standings, leading is Virtual Drivers by TX3, aka Mark Stoffmil, with 480 points. Closely behind is Team Denmark with 472 points, so they could still take the team championship. Third is Pro Formula Esports A with 367 points. Fourth is OVRC with 244 points. And fifth is Pro Formula Esports B with 163 points. And as usual, if you want to see the full standings, you can do so at the link in the description.
Thank you, Owen, as we are currently watching Mike Stoffmel on this outlap. Currently, as we said before, the championship winner. He clinched that last round. He still has a team fight to go on for. Obviously himself versus the Team Denmark guys. Heads towards into Canada corner. That's not Canada. It's the Kink. Sorry. Reading my track map wrong. This is Canada corner as he heads up, so he gets a bit more tire temp into the tire. He's driving the Audi still. BMW looks very strong out here, but in practice, Stoffel still managed to top the timesheets. Very good effort there in his Audi R8. Bit slow now on his lap as he starts his lap with the quick climb up the hill now. As he said, onto the start-finish straight. It's a very long start-finish, a bit reminiscent to the likes of Monza and the Kemmel at Spa, which we were 2 weeks ago at Spa. We're past the pit lane exit and then to turn 1. Hard on the brakes here for this very quick corner. Got to bounce the car. Try and get as much exit curb as you can as you make a quick blast down to turn 2 and then to turn 3. And you now go into the second of the straights, which you will head underneath the cheese bridge. That'll be real cheese people. And down through the sweep. Down into turn 5. Hard on the brakes here. Get a bit over the curb. Get around, and you go back up a hill to turn 6 to a 90-degree corner. More tricky section of the track into turn 7 down Hurry Downs. A quick little downhill section. Get another 90-degree corner, turn 8, and then into the carousel, which is a very long corner. It just keeps going and going and going. Got to balance the car here. It's very important about getting the throttle on at the right time. As you then head in towards the kink. Very fast sweeper corner. Throw it in there, try and use as much as the X can get away without spinning out on the grass. And you head towards Canada corner. You have hard on the brakes again. You've been using near full throttle the entire time at this point. Up the hill, climbing once again. Turn 13. And you go once again hard on the brakes to turn 14. And you head back onto the start-finish straight as the first times do start appearing. Mike Stoffmel gets a 204.367 on his first flying lap.
Yeah, so he gets ahead of Romanenko and Verstappen. So they are forming the top 3 right now. Behind them, Olsen in 4th, Secker in 5th, and Brunier in 6th.
Across the line will be James Butler in the 911 GT3R, the old model. He'll cross the line and he'll slot in P7 with a 2:09.786.
Federico Svanger has appeared to has spun somewhere on the track. I can't exactly see where it is in the final sector though.
As well, Stoffmill spun just past Corvette Bridge into turn 6. Oh. Again, he's probably got a very unstable car. He was saying the M6 is very quick around here, and the M6, well, the Audi struggles a bit in the corners to keep up with it in the straight line. So you might be running quite a little amount of downforce to keep up on the straights. Sebastian Brunier gets the fastest Sector 1 time. He now heads into the carousel. Going to the kink now. Will he keep this momentum going? Looking like he's going to improve his lap. He does, but he does lose 0.6 of a second out in that second sector. A bit slower through the twisty stuff, but obviously very quick in the fast corners. He goes to Canada, gets a bit wide on exit there. Hartney steps out underneath him. Through the final corner now, and up the hill towards the start finish. That is the pit lane entry, by the way, there. So no one shouldn't require to use it this race, but you never really know. Across the line, I will stay P6. Improves its lap time though. Not by enough to move any further up the order. Other people are improving their times right now.
Yeah, Mollier is on a fast lap right now. Currently in P7. Also in the final quarter onto that long start-finish straight. So we will see where he slots in. And he stays in P7.
It's P7, again, another improvement in their time. We have a few more people setting their first laps still. One being Victor Berlin here in another one of the Porsche drivers.
One's off the road there.
Orts his lap.
And yeah. I mean, I assumed the lap wouldn't count if you went that far off the road. Stays on the track, so... And now he's back in the pits.
Mankov gets the fastest sector 1 time, which is definitely where the BMW is quick. You go by the leaderboards right now on this track, the public available race
That
from leaderboard.
said, Mike Stoffmill just went faster in Sector 1 than Romanenko.
Okay, so it's not over yet as Romanenko goes through the kink right now. Got a car just ahead of him as he improves in Sector 2 as well. One of the Mercedes AMGs just about up the road from him. Across the line now and stays at P2. Does close the gap down. But loses time out in that final sector. Stoffmill heads through that final sector right now. He's improving in both sectors right now. He now heads up the hill. Across the line and will improve. Extending his gap out Provisional pole, as I believe Alexander Secker moved up the order and switched with his teammate. Just saw that just then. He did gain a position there on his last lap. As there's under 5 minutes to go left in qualifying.
Yeah, and we still have 5 drivers who have not yet set a lap. Stephen Higgins, Frederick Osvanger, Victor Berlin, Carlos Cazorla and Sergei Kimchuk. We're waiting on laps from them as Stephen Higgins gets around the final corner to hopefully finish his first timed lap.
As he'll cross the line and will put himself P8. Was the rear end of the field, but it's not over yet. There's still enough time to put another lap out and try and move his way up.
Yeah, Berlin and Cazorla are just coming out the final corner now, about to set their first timed laps. Berlin will cross the line first. And he had an invalid lap, it seems. As did Cazorla.
I was watching James Butler.
Or maybe they were just both on out laps.
Butler was running around with damage on his front of his car on his last lap.
Huh.
Did improve his time still, but he lost about 3 seconds in the middle sector, I'm assuming due to hitting a wall or something along those lines. I'd seen better days.
Kimchuk about to cross the line and takes P10. So only Berlin and Cazorla are yet to set a lap. And they are both on timed laps right now. Cazorla closely following Berlin.
Higgins will be crossing the line now to improve his time possibly. And he moves up to P7, so jumps above Miller in the Corvette. He moves up the order a bit further.
Berlin and Cazorla are in the final sector now to get their timed laps in, as they won't have time for another lap.
As Olsen crosses the line and does not improve his time.
Cazorla may be getting a bit of advantage of slipstreaming Berlin here. And so Cazorla takes P9 and Berlin takes P10.
Now everyone currently in the session does have a time now on the board. Some description. There's Yimik. He's currently going through Canada corner right now with 1 minute to go, so not much time left to set a time. You better be in the last couple of last 2 sets is basically to reset a time at this point.
Yeah, Kimchuk going around the final corner now, so we'll be able to set another time.
Across the line and stays he's a P11.
Yeah, gains 1 position.
Overlaid it said P12. It's a bit confusing. As Cazorla still improves to sector 1, but will he have enough time to finish his
No,
lap?
he doesn't.
He's got way under the time, so that will be your final standings. Smaller grid today, but Mike Stoffmore does take pole position by Menkov, Verstappen, Secker, Olsen, Brunier, Higgins, Miller, Cazorla and Berlin by your top 10. As we will now be heading shortly into the race in the next couple of seconds. And there we go. So now everyone starts to go up, getting the fuel loaded into the car. Any predictions for the final race of the season?
Well, I think Mike Stoffmill should be able to take the win here. He's got quite a clear margin in qualifying. Although last time, previous race, he did as well, and we still got a surprisingly close fight for the win.
I think
So,
yeah, the BMW has a slight advantage in race pace.
yeah.
The only thing to be concerned about BMW is obviously it's a track where you're full throttle for a majority of the lap. Possibly fuel could come in once again as the lights go on. And we are go for round 6, and Stoffel gets a good launch, but so does Semenko, and Semenko's right behind already on the start, so everyone getting a decent getaway right now. Stoffel will hug the inside line into turn 1, he kind of has to. Semenko tries to go round the outside into turn 1.
Had a bit of a touch there.
Bit of argy-bargy work going on as Stoffel keeps in P2, but Semenko gets a very good exit out of turn 2, and alongside him now, and this is where Bino might have a bit of an advantage now, is when it comes down to straight line speed. They head down the second back straight right now, side by side, all the way down. For everyone else in the grid, someone's made a clean getaway as well. So Stoffel, oh, there's a bit of contact from the Mercedes behind Timorenkov there. That lost him a bit of time then by getting, I believe, Anton Zaseka goes a bit deep into the corner and hits the BMW in the sides. A few other cars.
Yeah. Brunier also gained 2 positions out of that.
He's being opportunity. There was a car off in the background. That is Berlin. He is spun. Don't know if that was caused by a bit of contact there, but he is now at the back of the field. He'll have to start his drive back up again. Once again, we've got a very close mid-pack right now. Currently going Stoffmill, Vimenkov, Secker, Brunier, Olsen, Carzola, Verstappen, Willett, Higgins and Butler. And Verstappen had a very poor start, it seems. I believe he was high up the field, normally quite far up there. But he's kind of...
Sebastian Brunier just gained another position on Alexander Secker and moves up to P3.
BMW does seem a very strong race pace right now, as he's in front of both the Team Denmark Mercedes cars. Remember, those 2 cars can possibly still get the championship in the teams, but right now, unless they get any further up the order, those 2, they're not going to take it. Now we'll head down the back straight. The first lap is completed now, and we'll head on to lap 2. Everyone's still all bunched together in its early stage of the race. And quite a lot of slipstreaming here, so obviously the cars will be quite easy to stick together. As long as you're in the tow, you will somewhat have a chance to gain on the car in front. Be right ball on Stappens. I believe another car in the background has spun. Don't know which one that is. Verstappen's gaining, Carzola and pulls to the inside for turn 5 and get very close there. Almost pushed onto the curb, but he does manage to make his way through, and Stefan moves up into P6.
I think it was Yakimchuk that spun, as he's now behind Berlin, who spun earlier.
Ooh, well, that gets very opportunistic there. Tries to make a move on to Carzola behind, but can't quite make it happen. Stefan makes a somewhat a bit of a getaway already and gapped it near to a second already. He's on a bit of a charge right now to try and get possible position. He did lose on the start there. As well is now chasing Carzola as well. It's a bit wide there. Stefan is a bit wide. As Butler, I believe, is also spun as well, as he's dropped down the order, so tricky conditions for some cars as Higgins goes for a move onto Miller there, so and he makes it work through Canada corner down the inside, and yes, he will stay alongside now. And oh, he
goes off into the grass.
Not the way he wanted to happen. Does he have damage? He might have damage.
He is on the way again, but he's dropped down to P9.
That was unfortunate for him. He just got a bit too pushed over in the grass there. He will continue going, but that's unfortunate for Higgins. He looked like he possibly made a move then, and he was alongside, but he found the grass, and once in the grass, you have no grip compared to being on the sticky black stuff. So only 5 minutes into the race, and everyone's still fairly close to go, especially this mid-pack. Is now already on the back of Carzola again. Same with everyone else, getting all bunched up together. As Miller is going down the inside of Carzola, backs out of it, trying to get his nose in there, but not quite close enough to really confirm that position and get that overtake done. Carzola is struggling for pace, it seems, right now. He's lost a few positions off the start. Seka and Olsen are once again very close to each other. Last time out they sort of let one each other through. What has happened again this time? Go through the kink, and you're trying to use as much of the road you can without going off. Because if you go off, you risk spinning the car. But also, you go wide, you gain a bit more. You lose less speed, essentially. Up the road from these two. He is getting away somewhat.
Also just noticed we actually lost Butler. He's saying on Discord that his game crashed, unfortunately.
That explains the weird timing issues as he has dropped down the order. That's a bit of a shame for him. He now cannot participate in this race. As Berlin spun again. Oh, Berlin's in the wall at the final corner.
Yeah, he is. That's a strange place to have spun to.
Doesn't seem to be going anywhere as he's turned to the pit lane, so assuming that's an engine is gone obviously on his car. Hidden by the fact he was not moving anywhere after that crash. Another fortunate incident there takes out 2 drivers already in this race. With under 10 minutes already gone, so high attrition rate right now. Is trying to get past Carzola. Bit of oversteer then. Trying to chase down the BMW right now. So much steering he's putting into the car to get around. Quite a tricky call to get the car to quickly go around it, as Fomenkov is actually closing the gap to Stoffman at the front. Very slow Canada corner there. He loses a bit on entry. Let's stay ahead there, still got a bit of a gap. Let's see if Miller can make the move happen now on the straight. He needs to get a really good exit here. He doesn't really get that, as Carlo does somewhat get away now. Bit unfortunate for him now. He's got to close the gap up once again. While for the race for P4, all the cars close together right now. Sebastian just up the road a bit in P3.
Yeah, Olsen is closely followed by his teammate Sacher. So not sure they're going to be racing too hard on each other, but they also have Christopher Verstappen closely behind them, who could make things interesting.
As Carzola's lost position to Mullet now in turn 2. Now he's going to race up there. Mullet gets very defensive there indeed. Switches across the line a bit interesting there as Mullet tries to hang on to that position. Nearly went into each other there. That's a bit scary there. Both cars are still pointing the right way though afterwards. Those two are very feisty already. Mullet trying to get past. He was stuck behind Carzola for a few laps. Believes he is the quicker of the two and trying to make the move happen, but I think we'll do a Carzola who's got the toe, who's got the slipstream now. Let's see if he can really get away now, or was it all just down to the toe keeping with him? So Verstappen gets very close to the back of Olsen now, so...
Yeah, this is about to get really interesting.
Oh. They're still behind two Mercedes right now. Now the Mercedes got to work out. Will they do anything?
Cazorla making the move on Mollier. And looks like he does make it stick, although they're still side by side. And Mollier takes the position back.
Goes a bit wide.
Although, a bit wide there. Seems
Yeah,
like Mollier sticks ahead for now.
it's very wide there. Out of turn 13, you trying to carry the inside line a bit as everyone's suddenly got very close to each other now. As Olsen's going to make the move down on his teammate. He passes down the inside for P4, but goes a bit too deep and loses the position again, and now almost loses it to Verstappen as well. And he does.
And he does, yeah. Oh, they both lose their position to Verstappen.
Saka being a bit... not really putting much of a fight up there. He sort of seems to sort of just let him...
Romanenko has managed to get really close to Stoffmill. And looks like Sacher making the move on Verstappen.
And he makes that move, so... interesting to see how this all goes. That's all got kicked off by Olsen trying to make an overtake. Went a bit deep and then sort of forced everyone to move out of position, allowing Verstappen to get through. Now Verstappen's in the middle of this Mercedes sandwich as such. Of course, Verstappen is not going to be playing too nicely, because obviously he's racing for position while the other two Mercedes are teammates, so obviously it's their best interest not to crash out each other, but Verstappen's going to be a bit more aggressive, I think, and make the moves up. He's definitely closing that gap at the front now. There's glimpses, I can see on the relative glimpses of him getting very close indeed. Is he quite close enough to really make a move? Or we'll hopping with in a second, but meanwhile, that fight for P4 is very close indeed right now. Verstappen getting a very good bit of an escape now by these three having a little fight between each other. Stoffmill is now trying to get Menko behind. Menko's got carrying so much more speed though through the corners. You can just see it. The way that Binotto seems to be able to better brake him, but when it comes to the straight line, the Audi has somewhat a better getaway initially. Same thing we saw at Spa. And Stoffmill will keep carrying the speed up. He might go a bit defensive here as that BMW is closing the gap very slowly. Pulls out to the inside. Not close enough to really make an overtake. Says that as he pokes his nose up. It's very close and nearly had a bit of contact, but so far managed to avoid it. seems to be somewhat a bit quicker through some of these more tricky corners. The slower stuff anyway, but in the fast corners that BMW definitely has the advantage. Now through Canada corner, as a quarter of the race has almost elapsed. See if Flamenco can get the run now as they head up the hill. No, he doesn't. Still not close enough to really make a move. Got plenty of time to make one as long as he can hang in close to the back of Stoffmel's car. Possibly will this be the chance? As he now they both head down the back straight. Stoffmel possibly taking a slightly inside line. He goes a bit towards the middle of the road, acting a bit of a barrier as Olsen gets back in front of Verstappen, just behind them. Fight for that midfield fight. So it's still very close racing, all, especially in the midfield and at the lead, which is always great to see. Go through the kink now. Still getting close as Olsen is somewhat losing second now. A little fight with Verstappen possibly costing him a bit of time there. Not quite possible for Winkov to make a move yet, but he's still very close. He's been in striking distance. It's very annoying for him trying to keep up, but in some corners Stoffmel's just managed to get a bit enough advantage to not get past. Winkov has to stay behind. As Verstappen is back in front of Olsen now, so positions keep changing a bit there in the midfield. Now Olsen is right behind Verstappen, now heading up down the start-finish straight. At the front, there's still a race for P1. As Flamenco is now the closest he has been on the back straight. So will this be possibly the chance he can? Audi just seems to be being a better launch out of the corners compared to the BMW, which is somewhat being a saving grace right now, because towards the end of it, it gets close. I think the advantage the Audi has is when it comes to the slow corners, it can just sort of point its way out and just put the power down. While the M6 benefits a bit more from keeping the speed up. Quite hard to overtake. As Verstappen goes a bit wide down the exit out of turn 6. He's still trying to get away from Thomas Olsen behind him. As the fight for P5 is heating up a bit. Okay, someone making a bit of a break now, and up the road from him is Sebastian Bruni, who's going to sitting in a comfortable P3. Olsen goes a bit wide there. Loses a bit of time to step in front. A bit for Canada sliding through that corner. As Once again, Romenko is now closing that gap back on Stoffel on the start-finish straight. He seems to just catch it way too late in the straight. Saying that though, he gets a very good run on the back of Stoffel and looks to the inside line for turn 3. Stoffel has to give him room and stays in front. He's managed to hang it round there, so good bit of driving.
Yeah, definitely was just able to carry more speed throughout the corner. Managed to get a bit of a gap again.
It's for sure, not always taking the inside line, it's not always the quickest way through a corner. What Stoffel did, he went very wide entry and got a way better exit by just sweeping around rather than having to almost come to a halt to get around the corner.
Yeah, very nice bit of defense.
Very good bit of driving. Both of them giving enough room for each other to not be dirty. It's always good to see is when you got drivers which are giving each other respect rather than just argy-bargy their way through. Now Romenkov's got to get all that time back up again. He lost through that one corner. Has the fastest lap in the race. He definitely has the pace to go in front. It's just about making that move happen, which is always the hard part. Especially in these cars where no sort of assist to sort of help overtaking, no DRS, no push to pass. So it has to be all about getting that toe and then making it work through a braking zone or through a corner. Not the easiest overtake with. Completes lap, starts lap 11. Managed to maintain his lead so far all through the race, and once again is doing a very good job at staying there. Now head down to turn 5. Verstappen has closed the gap to Alexander Secco, but Olsen has lost a bit of time there.
Olsen definitely is starting to fall behind these two. Verstappen is going to try the move down the inside here. Secco maybe trying to get a better exit, and does seem to have managed it.
Secco doing nearly what Stoffel did earlier on, doing the switchback, getting a very wide entry to get more momentum through the corner, and that has worked in his favour. But now he has to defend coming into turn 8. Corner number. The more these two fight, the less they can close the gas to Sebastian ahead. So Sebastian wants to get this fight over as quickly as possible. Second, rather not have the fight at all, and rather just have clean air in front and not have to worry about a car behind him. But wait for that now, and the more these fight, the more it allows Olsen to get back into it again. Very interesting what the outcome of this could all be. Menkov has also closed the gap once again now to Stoffel. The fight's not over for the lead yet. Still 36 minutes to make an overtake happen. As Secco goes all the way to the pit wall, tries to make him have to go the long way. Cuts across to the racing line now as Verstappen goes down the inside into turn 1. Not quite enough room there to make a run back, as that means Verstappen now moves up to P3. Doesn't look like Secco has much of a response at this point unless he can get a good run out of turn 3 and keep the slipstream all the way down back straight. takes the inside line now and forces Becker to go round the long way. Verstappen goes deep into the corner and loses both positions now.
Yeah, falls a long way behind.
Outbraked himself there. You're assuming he was just trying to hold the inside line and brake as late as possible. Unfortunately, it did cost him a bunch of time now, sliding out to the gravel.
Yeah, so he's still got 35 minutes left though.
Gotta get back in that rhythm again. Won't be too hard, as that's now allowed Olsen to back into P5 again. And once again, the two red Mercedes cars are once again back in proximity of each other. Menkov once again, possibly another go now on Soft Mill.
Oh, Verstappen has spun again. He's into the barrier.
Yeah, he's at kind of corner, and that's a mashed up rear end there. As Menkov looks to make a move onto Soft Mill on turn 1, but backs out of it. Gets a better run through the corner, carrying a bit more momentum now. Not close enough to make a move into turn 3. Yeah, what happened to Verstappen? I think he might be pushing the car a bit too hard now to try and get the time again. He has hit the barrier at Canada. Good spot there, Owen. Rankov now tries to possibly make the switch back. Can't quite do it. He just doesn't have the corner exit speed that he needs to make it happen. On lap 13 right now of this race. So we had 2 retirements so far. Only a very small grid it seems to have turned out here for Road America. Of close, but he's never quite close enough to make a proper overtake. He seems to be struggling to get that final couple of tenths, get that move done. But it's so close in pace, it's really quite impossible to do that.
Yeah.
Noting that the last laps of both these cars was their fastest laps. There's still plenty of tyre life left. The fuel is starting to go down, so they will start to go faster.
Yeah, we're almost halfway through the race now. Only a tenth between them on the last lap.
Yep, they're getting very close to each other now.
Nanko very close now in the slipstream. And they're gaining a fair bit now. Tries to go around the outside, maybe. Just wasn't quite able to get close enough to Stoff Mill to make a move. Seems, yeah, just seems like Stoff Mill, got a better exit, and then, yeah, after a while, Romanenko started to gain in the slipstream, but it's just not enough to actually get close enough to make a move.
Yeah, Stoffmill's doing a very great bit of defensive driving there. You can see he somewhat wanders across to the middle of the road where when you're overtaking, you don't really want to be all the way on the inside, because otherwise, again, you have to stop on the corner or such to get around it. So you want to be in the middle of the road to really overtake. But Stoffmill is just parking his car there and says, "You get around the long way." And that so far has been working. It has stopped Romankov from really mounting any sort of proper attack. race strength from Monco. This is a similar thing that happened at Spa. You need to get all the space you can out of these fast corners. That's where the Audi seems to be struggling. The slow stuff is killing it in terms of race pace. Again, the main reason for that does seem to be down to how that these two cars use very different engines. The Audi using a naturally aspirated V8, while the BMW using a V8, V10, sorry. While the BMW uses a V8 twin turbo design. He once again gets a very good run for turn 1. But not really close enough to make the move happen. Just watch on the onboard now, you can see the gap extends itself at the corner exit. About halfway down the straight, it starts gaining again.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing that happened on the last lap.
At some point, Marenko's probably going to have to do a lunge or something. That's the only way I can see him making, because I do believe that once he's out of, not got the Audi in front of him, he's probably got a faster car in race pace. It's just trying to race a car which can get such a better exit out the slow corners. It's just a nightmare. But it's a great thing about GT3 racing is the fact that you can have so many different sort of cars all racing each other over somewhat very good equal performance as such over a total lap, but each having their own characteristics. That's a great thing about GT3 racing especially.
Yeah, so the mid-engine design on the Audi seems to be really helping it on the corner exits compared to the front-engine BMW.
Yeah. You know, one car that's wicked out the corners is the Porsche, and unfortunately we don't have any top-running Porsches in this season really outside of Silverstone. But it'd be nice to see that possibly if Season 6 comes around to have some Porsches at the top end once more. Porsche obviously the rear engines, the engine's over the back axle. Means that thing's got a ton of traction and the power's down. Also naturally aspirated flat 6 engine. The power is almost immediate. Very popular car, this again not really being used in the series much, the M6. But made a comeback after the recent physics changes, has made a comeback in the series. Well, cousin nice to see the Bentley again.
Romanenko managed to get a better exit this time, so he's actually gaining already on Stoffmill.
Yeah, he is. He's very close to his Stoffmill. You see he's parking himself in the middle of the road there.
Yeah, Romanenko trying to send it around the outside.
And he gets the
They're
cut
making the
back.
switch back.
He's wheel to wheel right now as they head into the next corner. Is he close enough to force himself? He is forcing himself.
They're very close.
Very close indeed as they stay side by side. Stoffmill will have the inside line the next time round. And Stoffmill stays ahead for a bit longer as Menko has to have another go now. Oh, that was probably the best shot he had in a while to get there. He still is hanging on there though, not lost much time as he goes around the carousel now. He just needs to get a bit closer. He needs to get his wheel alongside that car, and then Stoffmill has to give him the respect. The hard part, trying to get just close enough to make that move happen. Is he going to have a go now? Heading down to counter corner. Stoffmill once again parking that car in a place where it's just so hard to get around it. He's getting the best compromise he can out of that. So parking in a place where he can get the corner speed he needs, but also not allowing Menkov to get around. But they're still very close right now. The Menkov is now even closer than the start-finish straight, and this is probably one of the best corners coming up to make an overtake if you can get close enough. A fast corner. BMW does seem to have the advantage, and he's closing the gap, gaining. Just not quite close enough. He gets ever so close, but he's not just close enough to make a move happen. I have to sit him behind, but that was such close racing there between these two. it's great to see when you got the top two drivers in the race just battling out to the end. As Olsen and Secker swapped positions. Just going back a bit, the two Mercedes drivers have swapped positions.
Two teammates, Team Denmark.
Yep. Those two seem to battle as
Verstappen has spun again.
he's got, I don't know what, he is dropping down the order quite quickly, so not a great race for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, dropped down to P9 now. They're fighting with Olsen and Secker for P4 not too long ago.
It's all gone a bit downhill for him. As we have 25 minutes to go. So, through the kink they go. Bit of grass there. Renko quite close enough. And this is the point, you gotta be, as a driver, this is the point in the race where a lot of people would just start to get a bit over aggressive, a bit too aggressive, start trying to go lunging on the brakes and stuff to make a move, and that's where you actually lose a lot of time. If you go too deep in the corner, that's like a perfect chance to stop and say, thank you very much, I'll just take my normal racing line, thank you. So you got to play a bit more smart than that. Now Menkov is doing a very good job of not just being overly aggressive when he doesn't need to be. And he closed the gap. Not going to be close enough. He backs out once again, so rinse and repeat. See if you can get this done again now. We're up onto lap 18 of this race.
Again, Stoffel just getting a better exit out of the corner, then Romanenko eventually gaining in the slipstream.
This race has no pit stops, so no real chance to do any sort of tactics there. As all they get very close then, but obviously can't really push a car out of the way. Unfortunately, of course he could sometimes, probably right now. As Stoffel is once again doing a very good job at defending that position. All he can. They both go a bit on the grass then. Nothing major. Both continue on. No spins. A bit of a getaway there, but you can just see the difference in the cornering ability of the cars. The M6 during the carousel just seems to be able to carry a bit more speed. A bit skittish. Second, Olsen are once again trying to possibly switch positions again as their main competition has gone down the road. I don't know how much damage Verstappen is still carrying. He did have some damage when I last looked at him. The rear diffuser of his car, so he probably must have lost a bit of downforce then. Obviously not enough to stop him running.
Another look down the inside. Oh, actually makes the move this time. Romanenko, bit of contact there, which forces Stoffel to run wide.
He seems to be giving the position back. Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Good bit of
So
sportsmanship
Romanenko taking the blame for that and giving the position back.
He's a bit aggressive on Menko's part, and I think he agrees with himself that was a bit too ambitious there, as sophomore has to go often the dirty track, and it's good to see sportsmanship like that, especially the top end. 'Cause a lot of people would have probably just driven off then, saying, "Oh, I got the position now anyway." Menkov wants a good fight.
Yeah.
There we go. The fight continues for the last 21 minutes on lap 19. Current standing order is Stoffel, Menkov, Brunier, Olsen, Secker, Mullet, Arzola, Higgins, Verstappen, and Yamik. Top 10. Once again, a very small field out today. Bit of a shame because Remek always leads to really good racing. But again, it's late season. This is the final round of the season. Before we take another quick little break, or next season is announced and organised and all that fun stuff. We had a few interesting races, a bit of controversy at the beginning with the whole tyre punctures scandal going on with the BMW runners, somewhat costing a few good positions there for Thomas Janssen at the start of the season. Fortunately, towards the end, he couldn't race due to other commitments. It's a bit of a shame because it would be nice to see him running at the front here. Going for Tom Pottage, who also came for a few races, showed some decent pace. But so far, Stoffel has dominated this season so far. With all but one win so far, but will that change today? Hermenkov is putting up a very good fight today. They all get very close to him, and still he's once again closed that gap down now. Possibly looking to make a move, not close enough yet. I didn't see, I think it was close to fever because he's not taking a normal defensive line.
So we're getting close to the last 15 minutes of the race now. Mike Stoffmill leading, within second Romanenko still very close behind and continuing their fight. In third is Sebastian Brunier, which seems to be in kind of no man's land right now. He's 18 seconds behind Romanenko and Stoffmill, and Thomas Olsen is 4 seconds behind him, so it's been this way for pretty much the entire race now, so I don't think he has too much to worry about as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Olsen and Seger are still closely behind, and for the rest of the pack seems to be pretty spread out right now.
A few unfortunate incidents there. Steve Higgins, who ran very early on the race, is still running. He's catching P8. And it's into the first couple of laps trying to get past Millet. 2-3 seconds behind Carzola. Which was Nemo Verstappen, who was somewhere at one point P4, all the way down P9 right now due to a spin, and followed by another spin later on into Canada, giving himself some rear damage, possibly costing him some top speed along the way. Currently, there's still a fight for the lead here between Stoffmill and Romanenko. These two have been fighting all race so far, so sometimes you wish that probably one of them wished there was a pit stop at some point just to get a break from the racing a bit. Once again, it's kind of battle back and forth between the two drivers, each car showing their strengths and weaknesses. Each driver showing his strengths and weaknesses as well. Romanenko did have an early opportunity, he did try to take it. Unfortunately, did have a big contact with Romanenko as second Olsen switched positions. That all happened there. I guess one of the cars went wide. That has happened as Romanenko looks to make the move at Canada. Not quite close enough yet, and that bit of acceleration from the LD just gets him in front again. Missed, unfortunately, as we're looking at the other cars on track. The two Denmark cars have switched positions once more. Becker's now asking a bit of a charge now. Sebastian Bruno, who is somewhat of a lonely race in P3 right now. He is looking on for his best result yet, as it's 15 minutes to go in this race.
Romanenko looking down the inside of Stoffmill again in turn 1 and backs out of it again.
You have to be very much alongside for making that overtake one on turn 1. If you go anywhere from far back, you're just going to catch the other driver off guard and possibly have a bit of contact there. And he just needs to get a bit more in these straight lines. He needs to be right at the rear of the bumper basically on exit to get anywhere close enough to make an overtake. Stoffmill once again takes the slightly defensive line. As they go possibly alongside here into the next corner in turn 6, and Menkov puts his car down there and he gets in the front of Stoffmill, so the lead has changed.
Wow, very nicely done.
In the 50, with a quarter of the race left to go, Romenkov takes the lead. Now, what does Stoffmill have to respond to this right now? Stoffmill, so far this race has not been anywhere other than P1. Can Romenkov get the getaway now?
These are going to be an interesting few laps. You can see Romanenko has managed to get a little bit of a gap to Stoffmill.
Stoffmill's definitely struggling now. The gap's already extended to 1 second already, so it goes to show how much more pace that M6 does seem to have.
Keep a close eye on this for the next few laps, because I think that's going to say a lot about just how much Stoffmill was having to defend.
Stoffmill was very quick in qualifying, especially in open air. So let's see if he can get some of that quality pace out now. His tyres are probably being a bit shot at this point. So he can bang out some laps now. This is what he needs to do. He needs to get once again close to that M6. I think it's what he's worrying about most in this race was the fact that once the M6 gets some clean air, it is very quick in race. Meanwhile, Olsen has closed the gap back down to Saka again. So as they go side by side now into turn 1. And he does make it move as Saka stops him behind Olsen. These two teammates are still fighting each other. No team orders yet. I guess they saw the fact that the race for the lead has calmed down a bit, so they decided to put their own little show on. As Olsen goes a bit wide on the exit there in turn 3. Saka now has to try and get back in front of his teammate once again. Saka gets a very poor carousel, Olsen gets a very good one. Managed to make a bit of a gap to himself. Still within slipstream range. Olsen goes a bit sideways there into the final corner, lost a bit of time there, allowed Saka to get right back behind him once again. Down to turn 1 they go, down the start finish straight. Saka pulls to the inside line. Can possibly do what Olsen did on the lap before. Bit of room there. to back out a tiny bit. And Olsen stays in the front for another lap. At least for the first couple of corners anyway, as there's still a lap to go. Gaps the lead is now close from a second to about half a second now, so Stoffel as second goes down the inside of Olsen now into turn 5, and he makes the move happen, and you now takes again back P4 once again. And neither of these two have stopped racing yet. Guess they thought that at this point they're not got any other chance to catch anyone, so might as well have a bit of fun towards the end. A sec, Olsen goes down the inside and doesn't quite have the exit to make it work. Great bit of racing between these two, obviously. Good to see that no team orders at play. So very rare, really, in this sort of race to have team orders make that big of an effect. Olsen gets a bit wide there through the kink. Both go for a counted corner. Olsen does seem to be struggling a bit more now. Sliding through some of these corners. Second will, with 9 minutes to go, keeps his P4 now. And at the front, Mike Stoffel trying his best now to gain on Momenko again, so see if he can do it right now. He has been leading up until about 2 laps ago. What do you do now when he is chasing? The exit there, and the BMW's in clean air, it does seem to have, once it has a bit more room to go through the corners, it can carry so much more speed through there. The Audi's a little advantage on the exit or slow corner, doesn't seem to matter as much. As Steve Higgins has spun out turn 3. What happened there, as he is back on the move again. Olsen closes the gap now.
Stoffel went a few tenths faster than Romanenko on the last lap, with only 7 minutes to go now in the race. It'll be interesting to see if Stoffel can still attempt an overtake.
He's going to be trying to push as hard as he can right now, trying to get that lead back, and it's going to be interesting to see as timing over tower goes a bit weird. Okay then.
Yeah, doesn't seem like anything happened.
Moving around, just keeping on our toes a bit, as Olsen is now on the back of his teammate once again, and he's got a back marker ahead of Vanguard ahead. Get past. Last place of the running cars still. As they go
side by side and running into traffic.
Yep, traffic trying to get out of the way as much as they can. It's not the place you want to be right now. As Olsen now once again gets ahead of his teammate once more. As they go through the kink once again, and now Seka seems to have been gaining a bit more once again. Not probably close to making a move. Saying that, he looks to make a move. But decides to slot in behind for now once again.
A whole bunch of people just disappears. There's something wrong on my side.
I think that's the same.
Yeah, it does seem like the server had some trouble as a whole. Well, about half the grid has been kicked from the server for no reason. So that's a big shame. I'll have to see what to do about that.
Into that as we go the last 3 minutes of the race. What's happening? We've still got a couple minutes left in the race.
Oh, Olsen has spun. Olsen drops down to P2. And Zachary takes the lead. A lot of front end damage for Olsen as well.
Yep, he's got quite a bit of front end damage there. There will possibly be a decision made by the stewards about how the race will end. Obviously, with most of the race completed, there might be a decision to take it back before at a certain time point, based on the final results, rather than using a final classification. We are sorry about this, everyone. It somewhat ruined the show a bit, as we are got 2 minutes to go of the race. So possibly one more lap to go. A quick look at any reasons why it happened.
So yeah, apologies to everyone watching. I'm sure Alex is busy looking into what caused this to happen with the server. So unfortunately, half the grid has randomly been disconnected, and so now we have only 4 cars left racing. Again, we will decide after the end of the race what happens with the results.
There possibly will be a decision made by the steering team as about what to do. As we are now on the final lap, assuming that Seka finishes the race. But as the clock has hit 0, Seka will finish the lap as he heads into the carousel right now. Now heads in towards the kink right now. Looks like he's going to have no real threats for him. Second now goes through the final 2 corners. Now heads down the start finish straight. And we'll cross the line to finish the round 6 of the OVRC GT Series. Next to cross the line will be Thomas Olsen, going home in P2. I will advise all viewers right now that these results will be provisional until the stewards have made a decision about what to do about the disconnection, because obviously there was a issue outside of the driver's hands on a technical level, as well will take P3. Higgins heading through Canada corner right now. He'll be the last of the finishers running right now. He heads into the final corner. And he will cross the line to finish P4. And that is their provisional results. So Remenko with the fastest lap, and Seka is your race winner. Unfortunately, as this happened, we will be making a decision in a couple of minutes about the final result, where we were taking it. Yeah, a bit of a shame to end the race like that.
Yeah, big shame, but you know, this stuff happens sometimes in sim racing. We have to rely on servers and network connections, and
Hardware and software, which doesn't always quite work in the way you expect it to.
yeah.
Anyway, thanks to everyone who did stick with us towards the end there. It was a really good race until that point. Hope you all enjoyed the race up until that point.
Yeah.
And yeah, we will be back in a few months' time, or months, 3 weeks' time, for next season, whatever that will entail. So thanks everyone for tuning in this season. Hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah, if you did enjoy it, please press the like button. We would appreciate that very much. And subscribe to the channel so you will be aware when we start next season.
Yeah. That will be me and Erwin out now for the break. And yeah, we will all see you hopefully in the future.